Good boy. Good boy.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Facebook friends, YouTube peoples. This is TeamBoydTV Game Time. I'll be your boy Bigg Q, and I'm joined by,
Vernie.
and we looking at week 6
Already.
in the NFL, right? Week 6 in the NFL. I can tell you this much. I am not having a good season in a lot of different ways. I'm not. My team is not playing well, right? My picks are booty. I'm getting disappointed in a lot of the games that I feel like we're wasting our money on the red zone channel because none of the games is going the way that I want them to go. I'm just not happy this football season at all. Just letting you know.
Well, I'm right there with you. My team is doing way under expectations, and it's not even my team; it's the quarterback play. That's really to me.
It's my whole entire team. Just be glad you only got like one glaring thing going on in your team. I got all kind of stuff happening with mine. But you know what I did though? In honor of, I'm just reaching right now, just trying to see if I can get the season to turn around. And not just for the Carolina Panthers, but just for my enjoyment as a whole for the season. I'm actually donning, and you can tell it's old and it's kind of tight, but I'm donning the very first shirt that I wore on the very first episode of TeamBoydTV Game Time.
Oh,
if you go back 6 years and watch the video from 6 years ago, this is the I'm just trying. I'm just trying to get something popping. You know what I mean? So that's
know how this thing play out.
I'm trying to. Any bit of mojo is good for me. I'm just saying. So we got some stuff to talk about this week, but let's look at what happened last week first. Even though I don't really want to look back on what happened last week, but let's go back and.
Well, let me just say we started a game between the Texans and the Vikings because you were short on this channel.
Yeah.
That the Texans are just gonna whip the Vikings.
Listen,
Vikings.
I already got beat down on Twitter by the boys on Thursday night about this. So it was a Thursday night, right?
That
was Thursday.
Monday night.
Oh, that was Monday. Yeah. I already got beat down on Twitter from the fellas. They already beat me down pretty bad.
Yeah. So of course we know the Vikings beat the Texans.
Yeah.
But overall, I am in the lead, ladies. 36-27. You just reversed 27-36. You are officially 9 games behind. Yeah.
It's gonna be. Look, we still got a long way to go. We still got
a very long way.
We still got like 11 games to go. We still got like 11. I know. I mean, I'm down 9.
9.
We got 11 games to go. Look, even if we might have to get into some overtime action. We might have to throw some playoff games in. I don't know. I don't know, but I think I can catch up. I think I can. I don't know.
You won't catch up.
The picks, man. I be
good effort this year.
I be feeling it right here. You know what I mean? I be feeling it right here, and then I watch the games, and I
need you to feel it right here.
I watch the games, and I'm just so disappointed.
You can only feel it right here for your team. Everybody else, I'm gonna need you as an analyst to think logically.
I was, you know what I mean? I even had
need you to break these games down.
I even had the stats on the screen so people can see what I'm talking about, right? You know what I mean? But I guess at this season, this year, stats don't mean nothing and rankings don't mean nothing because nobody cares. People just do what they want to do.
You got Atlanta coming out the woodwork.
Yeah, man. And I'm so nervous because I feel like, my Carolina Panthers don't won this division 3 years in a row. 1 year you can put an asterisk on 1 year because the division was really, really bad. And I think we won
it at 7-9.
Was it 7-8-1?
7-8-1.
Yeah, 7-8-1. So I mean, I give people that, right? But the other two we got outright, okay? You know what I mean? And I'm afraid that it's in jeopardy right now.
Yeah, I would think so.
I mean, we've lost every other streak we've had.
Atlanta, home streak, everything.
The home streak, they took everything from us.
Anderson beating the Bucks.
Every streak that we had is gone now. So, the division title is the only thing we got left to cling on to. And I mean, it's in serious jeopardy right now. But today, though, we got a couple of things we want to get into. Like the main thing, and we'll get into it in a minute, Colin Kaepernick finally gets to start after all the debate and people saying this and saying that. Colin Kaepernick gets to start. I think it's a trap. We'll talk about it here in a minute. Cam Newton is cleared from the concussion protocol.
Okay.
There's a bunch of drama behind it. I think Ron Rivera was stunting a little bit, but we get into that one too. Odell Beckham Jr. has made up with the kicker's net, so we don't have to talk about Odell Beckham Jr., right? I don't know.
They repaired their relationship.
They did. You know what I mean? They hugged it out, and it was a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? They hugged it out. Brady makes his first home start this week.
Okay.
Right? Brady makes his first home start.
There's been so many requests for tickets. He said celebrity tickets.
Wow.
Yeah,
to
that's
see
what
Tom
the owner
Brady.
said. Let's see
So
Tom
so
Brady.
so Foxborough sold out today.
Yeah, had a lot of celebrity requests.
I couldn't imagine. Even if I lived in Boston, I don't know. Maybe if I lived in Boston, if I was born and raised there, I just can't imagine under no circumstance being a Patriots fan. I just can't.
That to me is the only circumstance. You're a Boston person.
Yeah.
You root for your home team. But other than that,
I just can't imagine it. Just like I can't imagine being a Dallas Cowboys fan. Speaking of Dallas Cowboys, we finally got some dates. We'll talk about here for a minute. We got some dates. So it was week 8 or was it after the bye? I think
it was week 8.
Well, I think they're going to bye next week. I'm pretty sure they do.
Oh, so yeah.
So it'll be week 9. So here's the thing.
This is week 6. They're going to be.
Oh, they're going to bye next week. Yeah, week 8. Okay, so week 8, he said he was going to be ready.
Okay.
Now he said he was going to be ready, but here's the kicker, and it's been a conversation that's been raging for the last 2 weeks. Should he play? Should he play, or should we continue? Listen, I don't like the Dallas Cowboys, and it kind of pains. Well, I ain't gonna say that. This year is different. I'm actually happy to see them, doing what they're doing.
Yeah, me too.
Because of the players, right? Because of Prescott, because of Elliott, because of Morris.
I like to see how Dez has his back. He hasn't really been talking a whole lot of foolishness, even though they have been winning, and so you got to see it when they lose.
Right. Yeah.
But I have the feeling that this week they take an L, and I wish they wouldn't, because I'd like to see if they went out, would they really put Tony Romo back into them? But if he loses, then it's all like, see, we need Romo. Right.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, man. For whatever reason, the chemistry they got going right now is great. And I mean, it ain't like they blowing people out, and they're just playing some really basic fundamental football.
Which to me is more scarier for a team. If you're winning those tight and close games, because that's what playoff time is. It's going to be tight and close games. If you're doing that now, that carries over to me into the post.
Yeah. So. I don't know. It's just the and I can tell you from personal experience, even though you love a player and you kind of, couldn't. I remember all last year, everybody was talking about, oh my God, I wish Kelvin Benjamin was playing. I wish, this, that, and the third, even though the team was doing exceptionally well. And you notice now, we got Kelvin Benjamin back. Everybody wanted to see Kelvin Benjamin come back. But it messed the mojo up. Like, it's not the same. You know what I mean? And even though he's playing well, right, he got a couple touchdowns on the season. He getting his catches, except for that one game or whatever. But I don't know, just something is off. When you mess the rhythm up.
Super Bowl hangover, personally.
Yeah. I don't know. When you bring a player back in there, it just, especially when you've been sitting out all season, and then you bring a dude back in, and it throws the rhythm off. I feel like, and I feel like with a young quarterback like Dak Prescott, and I said this on TeamBoydTV Live, and the boys disagree with me, but I feel like it's going to stunt Prescott's growth if he had to sit for a week or 2, maybe 3. Right, because that's all I think is all it's going to take is 3 weeks for Tony Romo to prove he need to be the mentor instead of the starter.
Well, you know what? One thing I will say is Tony Romo is a good player now.
Yeah.
He's got good arm strength, and he was doing a decent job, better than decent job before he got hurt and whatnot.
Yeah.
He wasn't being protected well. The O-line is a lot better. So now what? And so, if you take it back to old school, I'm a fan of. Injury shouldn't cost you your job.
Right.
We've always said that. We saw it with what's his name in San Francisco,
Kaepernick and Smith. Right.
And you've seen it in some other places where you say it's not fair for them to lose it to injury.
Yeah.
However, when your main focus is Super Bowl and like the opportunities that you get, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right. That's what I believe that, and I think that's what Jim Harbaugh was thinking around that time as well. And of course, I didn't agree with. And it's funny how time can heal wounds or whatever. Because you remember, man, I was very against Colin Kaepernick for years, and now he's like one of my favorite guys. Even though we're gonna finally get to see him play for the first time today, this season. But I'm a Colin Kaepernick guy now. And it's hard for me to say that out loud because for years I hated on this man.
I'm a fan of Colin Kaepernick off the field.
Yeah, me too.
I like who he's matured into be, and that
I got a feeling though he's gonna show us something today. Because he done restructured his deal. So after he do what he need to do, this pretty much is
I think they restructured the deal because it's something like if he got hurt, they would have still been on the line for the money.
Yeah. But this is pretty much a audition or a job interview for him, right? So if he can get in there, he finally done earned I don't know if he earned it, but he got the starting position, right? So now he got to go out there and showcase what he can do for another team because he knows he's not going to be with San Francisco next year, right? We already know that. So he just needs to prove to the other NFL teams out there that he may be a value as a trade or something like that. And if he can maintain the starting position throughout the rest of the season and maybe win a couple games, I think he's in good position. I think he can leverage himself to be traded to I mean, I don't know. I look around the league. I'm trying to think who could possibly use him. Even though Denver was trying to get him, earlier in the offseason. Right now as it stands, I don't know what would be. Maybe Chicago, probably. Cleveland. I know he probably don't want to go Cleveland.
The experiment is done after the NBA.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. Maybe Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Maybe New York Jets, probably, right?
Jets, yeah.
But that's pretty much it. I can't really think of nowhere else.
This list now. You talking about the Jets?
Yeah.
Possibly Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What did we say? Chicago.
Chicago, yeah. Because I don't think we're gonna make a move in Jacksonville no time soon. No. I think Bortles is our guy. Mm-hmm. Ain't no movement in the South. There's a bunch of young guys there, except for Drew Brees on his way out.
So let's see, out of those three, though, let's just say Jets, Cleveland, Chicago. Who do you think is the best opportunity fit for him?
I think the Jets, with their scheme, with the way that team is built, you put Fitzpatrick is a okay quarterback. I mean, if you think about what they got to choose from at the moment, right. But the way that team is built on speed, and Fitzpatrick ain't got no speed. You put a Colin Kaepernick, that changes the whole dynamic of the New York Jets. I think they become instantly a playoff team if you add a player like Colin Kaepernick in the mix. I mean, you think about it, they got Brandon Marshall, they got Eric Decker, they got a ferocious defense that's going to kind of, keep the ball kind of coming back to the offense. You add a quarterback that can run, take a few hits, and Colin Kaepernick's accuracy ain't that bad, right? I think the Jets is the best fit.
I actually think that's a really good fit.
See, I'm an analyst. See, I might not be able to pick games that well. You know what I'm saying? But I can break something like that down. You know what I mean? So, and Chicago's not a bad team either. It's just, for them, they don't have, I think the speed aspect, the Jets will probably be the best way to go. And Cleveland, honestly, he don't want to go to Cleveland. I think the only reason that he would probably either land up in Cleveland or Chicago was because of the money. I think the Jets is the best team for him, but I think if he want to get paid, he'll probably go
the Jets have a really good defense.
Yeah.
And they got some good receivers. Yeah, I think Jets will be actually a good place for him.
With him and Todd Bowles.
Kaepernick auditioned today.
You know what?
To the huge market.
I'm rooting for him, honestly. To be completely honest, I'm hoping that he does well today.
I am too.
But we'll
just
see.
Shut people up altogether.
Yeah, we'll see, right? The controversy was in the last year's Saints game, and then this year against the Atlanta Falcons in the Georgia Dome. Cam Newton, pulled up at the goal line. I don't know. People say a couple different things. Like, some people say he was hot dogging going into the end zone. Mm-hmm. From what I saw in the Atlanta game, I'm not going to go back to last year's Saints game, but what I saw in the Atlanta game, it looked like he showed a little bit of fear and got his block knocked off for it, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people want to say he was hot dogging, trying to celebrate, kind of pulling up, saying he the man and ain't nobody going to touch him. So dudes took a free shot on him. A lot of people, Rodney Harrison, he always saying some stuff about Cam, and some other people went on record saying that if they had a clear shot on Cam like that, they probably would have tried to behead him too. First, I want to ask you, now you saw it. Was he showboating and hot dogging a little bit, or was he showing a little bit of fear? In my opinion, as a Panthers fan, not a huge Cam Newton fan, but as a Panthers fan, I think he was scared.
Well, I'm going to say I think it was a little bit of fear for the simple fact that it started in the Super Bowl last year. If you remember when that loose ball was there, everyone kept saying, why wouldn't he go for the loose ball?
Yes, absolutely.
And you can see that he's starting to be concerned about the wear and tear on his body.
Yes.
And that's, to me, what I see from Cam. It's an awareness of, I got to be careful what I'm doing with myself, because if I want to play this for years, or I want to be functioning after this, I need to take better care of my body.
Absolutely.
And I think he's coming to that realization now. At first when you're doing it, it's like Superman.
Oh, yeah.
Everything
it's
is
fun.
good
Yeah.
and all like that. But I think he's gotten to the point now where he's like, I need to take better care of my body. And so, yes, I believe it's a little bit of fear.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you look at what was going on last year, he would love to call his own number on the goal line, diving over the crowd. You're doing a lot of things that you wouldn't see in quarter. Yeah, right. Yeah, and then this year, I'm telling you, and this all started at the Super Bowl when he got beat up so bad in that Super Bowl. He is really
a little more aware of where we at here now.
But here's the problem with that, though. Now, this is what brought Cam Newton to the dance. Okay, this is what got him here. And for him to abandon it or slowly try to, change his game a little bit, now I can see if they were winning games and he was, if he was evolving into more of a pocket passer or whatever the case may be, and they were winning, right? I would be okay. I understand what he's doing. I feel it completely. I'm with it. But they're not winning. and he's still throwing interceptions. He got his interception count is I think he got more interceptions now than he had in the total of last year. You know what I mean? So he's, in my opinion, I think he is one of the reasons why the team is not performing well. He is not playing with any confidence. He's nervous. He's rattled, and he's inaccurate. And of course, you know, he got a terrible offensive line, so he worried that he gonna get his block knocked off every single time he take a snap. But it concerns me because I feel like if he goes back to and you know, I'm not Cam and I'm not taking him hits, so I can't really, you know, justify it. But as a Panthers fan, I want to see him do what he do. You know what I mean? So
I mean, I get that, but you have to think, of course, that he still has to function after this game.
Right.
And when your O-line is not protecting you, I'm dodging too. I'm dodging. Now, y'all ain't gonna have me killed out here. No,
right.
no.
You know, I don't know. But so, you know, I know this much. If and I've been saying this since like week 3. If the Carolina Panthers don't find that identity, if they don't find out who they are, who they want to be for the rest of the season, this is gonna be a long one for us Panther fans. You know, and I mean, you know, we said that we would never go through another 1-15 season again. I wouldn't be surprised if we land in that area this year. I mean, with the way the team playing, I mean, honestly, I have nothing to cheer for. I have nothing to root for, right? I watch them every week, but I kind of know what the outcome is going to be. You know what I mean?
I mean, you always got to pick your team.
I do. You know,
pick your team.
It's rough. It is. It's just as a Panther fan, it's rough. And but that's that. So I'm trying to think. Was that another story we needed to cover? I'm gonna tell you one thing I did notice. You know, Detroit won last week, right?
Yeah.
Which I don't know if I picked them or not, because I know.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I don't know if I picked them, because I think it was a surprise win. But I'm gonna tell you, right?
They played against Philly, right?
No, yeah, they beat Philly. Yeah, they knocked them off the undefeated streak.
Yeah.
But I was watching, some parts of the game, and I just want to speak about Anquan Bolden for a minute. So, I was watching the game, and then I saw Anquan Bolden doing some stuff, and then I thought to myself, wait a minute, is that Megatron or who is this, right? I mean, it is so eerily reminiscent. Like, I thought I was watching Calvin Johnson. I mean, and people don't really talk about Anquan Bolden like that. But the dude is, I mean, even when he was in Baltimore, when he was in San Fran, I mean, he's been that big body guy who, defenders do not want to mess with, man.
Absolutely.
And I'm telling you, he was looking so much like Calvin Johnson in that game. It was scary.
Yeah.
It was very scary. But, I just wanted to talk about it because I thought it was cool. And nobody ever talks about Anquan Bolden.
Never.
And actually, I'm thinking is he wearing 81? I think he's wearing 81, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's wearing 81. I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah, and I think that's why I was so confused. I was like, wait a minute, did they call Megatron back up? What's going on?
I'm surprised they let someone wear his number.
I'm surprised. But it would take a while for them to try to retire it or whatever. I don't know. And then and that kind of thing. So let me see. We got some picks to do, right? Let's see here. There it is right there. So let's see. Boom. There go our picks. And I just need to find the picks. There they go. All right. So hopefully, I fare better this week than I did last week. Now I'm just trying to, you know what? We make our picks on Wednesday or Thursday or whatever on Glasses Pick 'em or Shut Up. And I always forget what I done picked or whatever. I'm like, man, I don't even know what it was. So, when we come back on Sunday, I'll be doing some fresh picks. So I don't know where I stand. But I know I'm not doing that well in the Pick 'em League either. But it's all good. I think
Lauren is actually doing really well.
She is, right? I think she's cheating a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool.
Hey, that girl.
She might be cheating a little, her and JB. I don't know what's going on. But I know, her Washington team won last week, and JB had to put he had a thing on his banner that said, hashtag HTTR, I lost the bet. And he had to rock it throughout the whole entire show. It was pretty funny. So we got the Vikings, and I was just messing with the Bucks because they beat us last week. So I put their old,
I was gonna say that's the old.
Put their old silly looking Bucks logo up there because I was mad. But anyway, the Vikings going to remain undefeated because they actually going to take a week off, and the Buccaneers taking the week off too. I think the Buccaneers are now 1-4. I want to say.
They have the same thing as you guys. What do you?
Oh, no, yeah, 1-4, yeah. So, no, they can't be 1-4 because they beat us, and they beat somebody else too. So they should be 2-3, right? 2-2, 2-2. I don't know. 2-3. Yeah, 2-3, right? Yeah. So yeah, because they did beat us, so they actually ahead of us. Carolina's in the basement in the division, or is it the Saints? No, it's the Saints because the Saints ain't. Today depends on what happens today. Because today is the battle for the basement of the division, right? Whoever loses today is in the basement. right, so let's get into it. Here we go. Let's talk about your boy Colin Kaepernick. He's going up against Tyrod Taylor at home. Rex Ryan and the boys are in Buffalo. A tall task for Colin Kaepernick because he got to do this on the road. But I got a feeling, they got, Carlos Hyde. They got good running. If they can, get a nice running game going, they can slow Buffalo down. The only thing I'm worried about is that Buffalo like to sling the ball around. And, Tyrod Taylor versus Colin Kaepernick, they kind of got the same style. I think right now, Tyrod is in a little bit better shape than Kaepernick, So I don't know how they would use him though, but Tyrod, he don't really like to run all that much. He only do it when he has to. But Buffalo, Watkins I think is done for a couple weeks now with the foot. He's not going to be playing, and that kind of thing. So they still got Shady back there. Yeah, still got a couple other things they can do. It's a tough one for San Francisco. Now this one I'm picking. Honestly, Buffalo should win at home, but I want San Francisco to win, and I got a feeling we're gonna see some fireworks. So I'm going with Colin Kaepernick led San Francisco 49ers going into Buffalo, squeaking out a win on the field goal.
I'm going with the Bills. San Francisco 49ers are terrible stopping the run.
They are.
They're gonna have a dose of shady.
Yeah. It's going to be rough. I'm just hoping some good things happen for my boy Cap. But that's all good. Here we go. Philadelphia versus Washington.
Ooh.
Divisional matchup for, no. It's nothing because the Eagles only lost. Oh, well, Washington's only a game back. So, if they win this game, they can tie it up and, for the lead in the division. Philadelphia's on the road. Washington has been kind of surprising. They win. They've won a few games and everything like that. I don't know. See, and then the Eagles showed a little. I don't know if they went. I would say they showed a little chink in their arm, but they did kind of get surprised by Detroit. Like you got surprised by Detroit. Something's wrong.
Right.
Wentz was a little bit off his game. The first interceptions came. I don't know if that's just growing pains or whatever the case may be. The Philadelphia defense, I'm still impressed with. I'm still super impressed with their defense. I think their defense will carry them to keep the game pretty close. Right. I got a feeling that Cousins is gonna. Give us a little bit of an advantage with the turnovers.
Yeah.
I like Philadelphia on the road against Washington and remain number one in the division.
I'm going Philly as well. I think that that defense is going to get Cousins a few times, and they're real aggressive to the ball. They swarm to the ball really well. So I'm going to pick Philly on the road to win.
Philly on the road to win. All right. Cleveland goes on the road to Tennessee. So I had been picking Tennessee for like 5 weeks, right? They won their first game, and then it took them another, 3 weeks to win another game. I still like them over Cleveland. But, Cleveland is – I'm going to tell you something about Cleveland. Cleveland is a fighting squad. I don't know what Hugh Jackson is telling them. I mean, they lose a lot of games, and they don't lost every game. But I'm telling you –
they are only team without a win?
Only team without a win. You know what I'm saying? So we got one team that don't have a win and another team that's undefeated. But – they stay in the fight. There's not been a single solitary time except for when they played against the Patriots last week that they've been blown out. Right. So they've been in the fight. They on the road. I mean, there's only so much Terrell Pryor can do.
Yeah, they just don't have anything. Cleveland just doesn't have enough. Yeah. They don't have a good quarterback. They just don't have enough to do anything. Yeah. I have to go Titans.
Yep, I'm gonna go Tennessee at home. But you know what? When you play Cleveland, an upset is always in the works. I don't know if it's always in the works, but it don't really come to fruition most of the time. But it's always in the works. So Tennessee better keep their head on the swivel because Cleveland will get you if you ain't paying attention. Now I'm saying this is going to be a good game right here. I think this is going to be nice. This is right here is going to be a test for that super expensive $200 million defensive front that New York got. If they can slow down Joe Flacco, Rashard Perriman, Steve Smith. Those guys, Mike Wallace, you know what I mean? Honestly, I think the matchup between, I think is your boy Eli Apple still out? I think it's still out, right? But they got the Giants secondary going to be tested here, because these boys like to throw the ball, and and then as soon as they throw the ball around a lot, next thing they let their running backs loose on you. It's going to be a tough one. The only thing I will say that since they playing at MetLife, they got a little bit of a chance. I like Baltimore in this game. Only because I just feel like they got a super high-powered, wide receiver core. Joe Flacco has been super on point with his passes and stuff. It's just a matter if JPP and the boys can get to him or not. I mean, their offensive line is pretty stout. I like Baltimore to win, even though they've been showing some weaknesses now. Baltimore done dropped some games that they shouldn't have dropped. They ought to have been ashamed of themselves for some of this stuff. They got into a tangle with Cleveland, down by 20 points, all this mess. I don't know what's going on with that. I can't comment on that, right? But I just know this much. You know, if they play around with Eli like that, they will get burnt. I'm just saying.
You know, I don't know. I'm picking the Giants, of course.
Yeah.
But I really feel like Baltimore has the edge in this game in terms of being the more complete team.
Yeah.
They have no problem with the quarterback. They have no problem at the receiver area. They have no chinks per se.
Not
it's
really.
a matter of how they want to play.
Yeah.
So I really do expect Baltimore to come out on this game because the Giants just haven't been playing like they need to play, and I'm concerned about that quarterback position.
Yeah.
So I'm picking Giants because I always will pick them.
Yeah.
But I do have the feeling that Baltimore gets
Right. The only problem I see with Baltimore is that they don't like to jump out early.
Right.
They always have a slow, sluggish start, and and they get them in trouble a lot of times. But they're good at fighting back and all that kind of stuff. But they're gonna have to speed that start up a little bit. They're gonna have to put some points on the board early, because let's not take it for granted. When Eli Manning is on point, he got the best wide receiver core probably in the league. He
got some weapons.
He got some weapons. So you gotta stay up there with him, man. You can't be starting slow, getting down. If you get down 20 points against a team like the Giants, you might as well go ahead and pack it up and take it back to Baltimore.
Right.
It's over, right? So they can't make that mistake. So we'll see what happens. But I like Baltimore in this game, and we'll see how it plays out. Here we go. Carolina versus New Orleans. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I feel like, this game is set up for us to lose, right? I just got a feeling that Cam is not 100%. Our running game is not where it needs to be. I don't know. The team just ain't playing with no swag. And Drew Brees, we saw what he can do. And the Carolina Panthers defense is so porous right now. If you let somebody like Drew Brees run up 400, 500 yards on you like that, we see Carolina can't play from behind. It's all the wheels have fell off this. But I'm picking my Panthers, right?
I know you are.
I'm picking my Panthers to win this game. But man, the deck is stacked against us this week.
You know what? I really don't think the deck is stacked against you the way you feel. That Saints defense is
it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. So Cam can't take advantage of that.
This is the game where you get your swag back.
Right.
This is the game where you make a statement and say, whoa, 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 whoa. This is the game where Carolina has to come forward. Because if you can't do it against this sucky defense,
right? Yeah.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Kelvin Benjamin needs to have an awesome game.
He does.
Cam needs to get a few in there.
Devin Funchess ain't having a year. He ain't really doing nothing. I don't think he had a touchdown on the season yet.
Funchess is really garbage.
No, he ain't. Funchess is the man. I like Funchess, man. You can talk about it. But you still got Brown, we get he ain't really cooking either, you know what I'm saying? We seeing Greg Olsen doing this thing.
Funchess is the man.
I like Funchess. You can't be talking about Funchess like that, man. Look, Funchess and Kelvin Benjamin supposed to have been the, what they had that thing in New York Jets, what was it called? Where they had Burris and Marshall or whatever. But that's what somebody 10-17 or something like that. Yeah. So this is what it's supposed to be in Carolina, man. But Funchess like you can't get right. And then Kelvin Benjamin was shut out in the was it the Atlanta game? Was he shut out?
One of those games.
He was shut out. So I don't know, man. They need to bring some type of spike. Yeah, you're right. They need to beat down on this defense.
Yeah.
It's almost like target practice. Right.
And Kuechly and them can stave off what's his name? Drew Brees.
Yeah.
They can catch Drew Brees. Drew Brees is a shorty. They can get some turnovers.
And the offensive line ain't really all that dope either. Right. It's probably a little bit better than ours. But
this is Carolina's statement game. Today you got to do it.
I would love to see it. I would, and I'm thinking, Ron is probably telling the boys the same thing. You said, look at this defense. This defense is horrible.
Right.
Y'all need to tee off on these boys. Just have a day, right?
Shut it down.
Yeah. So and of course, whoever loses the game, you're kind of stuck in the basement. It's gonna be hard to climb out of a 1-5 for Carolina or a 1-4. Because the Saints already been on the bye. Right. But it's gonna get rough from here on out. Yeah. Now, this is why I tell Panthers fans, we still right now as it stands, we still got a chance to go 12-5, 12-4, 11-5, right? I take a 10-6, honestly. I told people Carolina's still a 10-win team despite what we done seen so far. Right. I'll take a 10-6. I'm cool with that.
10-6 will get you to the dance.
I think 10-6 will get us in the. I think 10-6 is good enough to win this division. I believe
10-6 will get you to the dance.
Well, I don't know about winning the division because Atlanta is on some other stuff right now. But
but we know how Atlanta does.
Right.
6, 5, 7, 8. Right. They start to shrink.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see.
Now I don't know if this game is one that people want to watch. Right. 1-3 Jacksonville. Going against another 1-4 team in the Chicago Bears. I got hyped for Chicago 2 weeks ago. They won their first game, whatever, thought it was cool. And Jacksonville has underwhelmed completely. I feel like...
they're at Chicago?
They're at Chicago, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Jacksonville's just been completely underwhelmed. I had so so many high hopes for this team. And here's the thing. I feel like, when we look at the teams now, this far into the season, I think Chicago or Shepard would be a little bit better team than Jacksonville. I'm going with the home team this time. I know it's crazy. I'm picking Chicago, but I'm picking the Bears to win this game.
I actually am picking the Bears too. I just don't trust Jacksonville.
Right.
Jacksonville hasn't given me anything that I need to say. It's Jacksonville.
Right.
So I got to go with the home team.
All right. Cool. Here's another one that's a little bit confusing in my opinion. Now, look at these teams' records, right? 3-2 for the Rams, 2-3 for the Detroit Lions. These teams got better records than the Carolina Panthers, the Chicago Bears, the New Orleans Saints, the Houston Texans. No, but they got better records than teams that you would think would have better records, right?
Than them, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean, and it's amazing. I get emotional about stuff. The Rams were doing so great and they were undefeated at home until somebody came in there and broke that streak last week. I forget who it was. I think it was Kansas City. I don't know. So they lost the game last week at home. This time to go on the road and go against the Detroit Lions team that, man, I don't know, man. I'm not a huge Jim Caldwell fan. I don't like his style. I don't like the way. There's something about him I just don't like. Yeah. But he is sparking something in his team that they ain't ready to give up yet, right? Look, they feeling good about it. They knocked off the undefeated Eagles last week, right? So look, and the defense showed up. You know what I mean? Stafford out there doing his thing. And the Rams are. You never know what you're gonna get. I say this every week. You never know what you're gonna get. I like picking the Rams because it's fun, right? And I love watching them play because I just wait on them to get destroyed, and then for whatever reason, they end up winning the game or whatever the case. I don't think that's going to happen this week. I think that Detroit is going to make a sound statement here. I don't think it's going to be no back and forth. I don't think it's going to be close. I think the Rams will put the foot down on them and, finally kind of get back into the talk in the NFC North because, ain't nobody paying them no attention right now.
Right.
Everybody talking about the Vikings and they're talking about the Green Bay Packers, even though they ain't really playing well. But Chicago and Detroit don't get no shine. So Detroit's like, I want to be in the conversation as well. So this is how they get back into because I think they win here. Green Bay loses today. That puts them tied, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm picking the Rams.
Oh, you're going with the Rams. Oh, okay. If you ever wanted to see a slaughter in South Beach, you're
Come to this game right here.
You're going to see it today, right? The Miami Dolphins have been a disappointment in my opinion as well. I've never been a Ryan Tannehill fan.
This game, what makes this game bad is that Miami has no answer for anything that the Steelers have.
They don't.
So just take it.
Yeah. This one's going to be rough.
Because you have no answer for anything. You got no answer for Bell, Brown. This third round pick, they got Coates.
Sammy Coates. Yeah.
You ain't got no answer for nobody.
Yeah, man.
Y'all and their quarterback is obviously light years ahead of what the Dolphins have.
Oh, yeah.
And all they have on defense is a Dominican, and he can't stop every play.
They got Sue, Martin, Williams. They got they got a squad down there. Kiko Alonso. They got some people.
They got no answer for the Steelers.
They got some names on defense. I don't know if they're gonna be able to get to Ben, and if they're able to get to Ben, only one I can see really bringing them down easy is probably Sue. But it's gonna be hard to bring Ben down. I see a 5-touchdown day for Ben Roethlisberger. Brown and Coates, they're gonna get loose, right?
And it's nice warm weather where they.
Oh yeah, and if you got 5 passing touchdowns and you throw in another running touchdown, I mean you got 41 points easy. You know what I'm saying? So
I just think it's Steelers all day.
Blowout on deck right here, people. Yeah. That's what it's gonna be. I can't see under no circumstances where the Dolphins gonna win this game. All right, so here we go. This is Tom Brady. He's still on this mission. They call it a redemption story, which I think is stupid.
It is the stupidest thing ever.
Right? His first home game since coming off his suspension, and this is bad for the Bengals. This is bad. It's bad for the Bengals because
bad timing.
Right, they're in a bad spot right now.
Right.
Baltimore is doing what they're doing. Steelers are doing what they're doing. Okay, Cleveland suck, but Bengals been getting dealt the wrong hand. Now they went down to Dallas last week, and I'm just gonna say, if you a seasoned team like Cincinnati with the seasoned people they got on this squad, your AJ Greens, your Andy Daltons, and the dudes they got on defense and all that, how you gonna lose to a team with all these rookies on them, right? In Dallas, you know what I mean? Oh, that's to help people from work. But yeah, how you gonna lose to a team with rookies on it? To Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, and you the Cincinnati Bengals. And what chance you think you got against a team like the New England Patriots?
Right.
You know what I'm
something
saying?
to prove.
Right.
For whatever reason.
Coming to the season, I thought the Bengals would pose. I thought it would be a 3-team race: Baltimore, Steelers, and Cincinnati. And I actually predicted that the Steelers would be third place, right? But these Bengals don't look the same Bengals from last year, right?
No.
So this year, I don't even think they get an opportunity to go to the playoffs. Now, they've been to the playoffs for all these years in a row. They don't make the playoffs, and this is where the Marvin Lewis talk will intensify, because at least they've been making it to the playoff all these years.
Now you're not making it to the playoffs.
Yeah, they ain't gonna make it to the playoffs. They're gonna get roasted by the Patriots. They put up a good game. It's gonna be pretty. It's gonna be a pretty.
I would be shocked if Cincy beat.
I would too.
That would be a true upset.
It would.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
I've got New England.
Okay. So I got New England too. I think they'll win the game. Okay. This is another game that I'm a little bit confused about, right? Oakland is another one of them teams. I do like the fact that they like to fight, though. A team that's scrappy like that, I'm always going to be a fan of.
And look, quietly, Oakland is 4-1.
4-1. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when you think all is lost, like last week, I thought, oh my God, that's when they getting ready to take an L right here. But they pull it out. Kansas City has been inconsistent at best, right? And they definitely got the squad to do better than what they're doing, and they play in a division where they should be doing. I mean, you got Denver in there. San Diego is doing stuff. San Diego was disrupting the flow. That's what's happening. San Diego was messing stuff up for everybody else. But I'm disappointed in the Chiefs right now. I really am. I really am.
They don't look like an Andy Reid.
This is another team. I just feel. I fear that they're not going to make the playoffs this year. I feel like it's going to be Oakland in their place.
Yep.
And so Oakland is at home. The Chiefs coming in there. Still no Jamal Charles, so they still playing without him. But I got Oakland. I got Oakland winning this one.
I got Oakland.
Even with their poor defense. I mean, everybody, people never talk about Oakland's defense, but
their defense is not the best. But then you've got to be concerned with what they're going to produce on offense.
Right.
So Kansas City offense is not all that spectacular that you need to be so concerned about the defense.
Right.
Oakland can put up points.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to put up enough points to cover their defense weakness when it comes to
and that's pretty much how they play. They play pretty much, and that's how they beat teams like the Chargers, and they beat teams like the Saints. Because that's what they can do. They can put up points, and it covers up a little something on defense. It really does. Yeah. All right. So here we go. Atlanta goes up to the Pacific Northwest to face what is now this week the number one defense in the league. Now, this is what I will say. Not discrediting, people like, well, I will say the Carolina Panthers secondary was probably like the easiest thing for Atlanta to go up against. But Atlanta just played against the Denver Broncos, right? Mm-hmm. And they got, Aqib Talib and all these, seasoned Chris Harris, all these seasoned cornerback. So it was a polar opposite from playing the Panthers than playing the Broncos. They beat both of those Super Bowl teams, right?
Well, the thing is this. First of all, with Denver couldn't score any points either. That thing ended up like, 13 to 21?
Yeah, something like that. Well, Trevor Siemian was his first game back, and he was his witness self, you know.
Okay, so you're talking about now a markedly better quarterback in Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
That offense is going to score points.
Yeah.
They are. And that defense is aggressive. They're going to lay hands on.
And they're smart.
You know they're there, and they work together.
They do.
So if you think you're going to get over the top multiple times on Sherman, you're not going to do it.
Absolutely not.
So I'm picking the Seahawks because they're at home. I think that noise is going to affect Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to be able to get a lot of this long ball.
Right.
That's what's been saving.
That's what's been saving them. That's
that long ball.
It's been crushing people though.
And I don't think they're going to play long ball in
Seattle.
In Seattle.
Well, and I think the matchup is great because you got head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, Dan Quinn, coming back home to go against his, his mentor and Pete Carroll. So they know each other's schemes really, really well. So a lot of the stuff that Quinn was able to kind of surprise everybody else, I ain't gonna say surprise, would just dominate other people with. He's not gonna be able to do that with Pete Carroll. So Pete Carroll will have an answer. Like Denver didn't have an answer, Carolina didn't have an answer, Tampa didn't have, these teams didn't really have an answer. But I think Seattle will, right? And and not to take nothing from Atlanta, I think they playing exceptional football right now.
They're playing good for the characters that they have.
Absolutely, they're doing well.
Their talent to the best of its ability.
Yeah, but and so we thought Carolina would be a test. We thought Denver would be a test. So here we go. We now and you know what I feel what Atlanta Falcons fans are saying because I felt the same way last year. Every time a team win, people find a way to discredit it, right? I know how it is.
No.
I know how it is.
You can't discredit Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta is playing.
Yeah.
Listen, this is the NFL. If you let me score 300 yards, I'm taking it.
Right.
If I can run and catch all these long balls, I'm doing it.
Absolutely.
If I can run the ball down your throat, I'm doing it. So Atlanta is playing smart.
They are.
They're doing what they need to do to win.
But they feel like they're being underappreciated. I told them, I say, listen, just remember what y'all was saying last year about Carolina, and now y'all see what it's like. So,
but it is about matchups.
It is.
And this right here is a classic matchup.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Look, I'm going with Seattle. I just feel like, the Falcons keep on beating up against this wall, and I'm gonna tell you, not to sound like a hater, and I just don't feel like they're that team to just be running roughshod. Even though they done beat some credible teams, that I ain't gonna take that. They done beat some credible teams, but they just don't. I'm not a full believer that they're the team that just gonna kick people in the face and not think about it.
It's based off of their history.
Yeah.
And so, just like it is with Cincinnati, we've seen this.
Mm-hmm.
We get to the playoffs. What are you doing now? It's the same thing with Atlanta. We've seen this before.
Absolutely.
Then we get to week 7 and 8, and they fall off.
Right.
So let's get to Atlanta week 9.
Right.
And then we'll really have to give where credit is due.
Absolutely.
But right now, I've seen this already.
Yeah.
So that's just my thing with Atlanta.
So there we go. Atlanta is gonna suffer another loss here. I like it. Okay, here we go. Is this my last? No, it's not. So Dallas goes into Lambeau Field, right? Here's the thing. I'm not gonna say that Dallas Cowboys are rolling the dice because the Dallas Cowboys gonna roast me for saying that. But I do feel like they've been playing good enough to win games, but I also feel like a lot of things been going their way.
Right.
The flow of the game been kind of going in their favor, and ain't nothing wrong with it. They can take advantage of that, right? Right, but they rocking the horseshoe this year, right? And I mean, it's great. They winning. It's cool to talk about. Cowboys are doing well. And on the flip side of that, I just don't feel like the Green Bay Packers are playing up to their potential. They got a nice record. They're winning right now, 3-1. But a lot of that stuff they've been scratching and clawing to do. Aaron Rodgers is just, and every time I say Aaron Rodgers is, not playing at Aaron Rodgers' level, people love to kind of destroy me about it. I'm just saying, ever since last year, I've been seeing the numbers go down on Aaron Rodgers, and people refuse to believe it, but it's true.
Right.
He's not. I mean, you blamed it on Jordy Nelson last year. Can't do that this year, right? Why your numbers still going down, Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. Why you throwing all these interceptions, Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just talking about what I see.
I unfortunately think this is Dallas' first loss.
Yeah.
Well, not first loss, but I think this is a loss here.
Because they won, a couple in a row. So
Yeah. I just see that going into Lambeau is a hard place to play, and Aaron Rodgers plays better at home.
He does.
He just does. That team plays better at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Dak Prescott, but I think with the whole Lambeau Field, that noise level coming into that environment, not saying that he's gonna be scared, but I do think he's gonna see something a little different.
Look, this dude is, he ain't showed no fear since he stepped foot on that field. I think.
Right.
Is one of the most fearless players I've seen this season. I would say would have to be a Dak Prescott. He comes out there and he absolutely has no fear, and I love that.
But okay, do we have Dez back?
No, we don't.
Jason Witten is supposed to be a little hurt.
Yeah.
I just think that this is a game where they lose.
I'm just saying, as long as you got Ezekiel Elliott, Alfred Morris doing the damage that they've been doing this season, and I think that's what they've been relying on. Like, he got Beasley and all those dudes that he can kind of toss these little passes to. Because he ain't throwing the ball deep, he ain't doing nothing spectacular. But he got Morris and Elliott just pounding, like they just destroying offensive lines.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Elliott turns the ball over quite a bit.
He does, yeah.
I got the Packers in this. I see this as the game, the trap game for Dallas.
Wow.
I think Dallas.
I think they escaped Lambeau Field. I think they escaped. This is probably gonna be one of the tightest games they play this season. But I think they escape because they lucky like that, and they're gonna pin Aaron Rodgers in a position where he got to throw a bunch of Hail Marys and stuff, and that's how they're gonna get out of Green Bay with a W. So I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys. So the Dallas Cowboys over Green Bay Packers, right? Okay.
Like, who even wants to see this?
This is a prime time game, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes, it is.
This is the 8 o'clock game?
This is the main event for the day. So, of course, we just can do dinner and not even worry about it. And I wish it was like a WWE pay-per-view on the night, but it's not. So, I mean, you know, this is what we got. Indianapolis, traveling to Houston. You know, I put a lot of stock in Houston last week. They let me down. But, you know, I'm going with them again this week, though, because Indianapolis is just not ready, man. They need some help. And I just feel like right now the defense, I mean, the team got too many holes, missing pieces. You know, for whatever, it don't feel like a complete team to me. It's really like a puzzle that's missing like 4 pieces. You know what I mean? You can't hang that on the wall.
I'm picking Houston because they're at home. I can't find anything redeemable about.
I mean, you know, yeah. I mean,
I don't know who's gonna watch this game.
I don't know who's gonna watch it either. And it's weird because this is the game they should have played last week during the presidential debate or whatever. Instead, you know what I mean? So this is right. Yeah, this one's gonna be whack. It really is. So well, listen, though, I'm going with Houston again this week, and you just pick them just because they're at home. Well, I think we got a lot of picks that were kind of the same this week.
Yeah, we got a lot of picks, but we got something that's different. You got Baltimore, you got Detroit, and you got Dallas.
Oh, okay. That gave me 3.
You got 49ers, you got 4.
All right, so look, I might get look 4 games in 1 week. Now, that would be dope. Because, see, I thought I needed all 11 weeks to go, but I ain't need that. I can do it in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Do it. I can do it.
Get past this week first.
I can do it in 2 weeks.
Let's see where we're at next week.
All right, so listen, that's gonna do it for us, man. We want to thank you guys for coming out again this morning. I was trying to get my chat up here on YouTube, but it's kind of just spinning. I can't really see it. So if you guys was chatting on YouTube, I didn't see it. I'm sorry. I apologize. And that kind of thing. But you know, again, I want to thank you guys for coming out, checking us out on this Sunday morning. And that kind of thing. You had anything you want to say to the good people out there?
Thank you for watching. We appreciate the support.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to get ready for the games. You guys enjoy the games today. Panther fans, look, man, Vernie got hope for our team. So if Vernie got hope for our team, look, we got it.
Carolina swag is back.
Anyway, I'm your boy Bigg Q. You guys can follow me on Twitter at TeamBoydTV. I will be tweeting a little bit today before I, probably end up taking a nap during the 4 o'clock games. Probably. We'll see.
Y'all have the 1 o'clock game?
We got 1 o'clock, yeah. So we'll see. Anyway, and then, of course, you'll be on Twitter later. Yeah. All right, so you guys have a good one. Enjoy the games, and we'll catch y'all next week. Take it easy. Peace.